She came for a job interview, then realized the CEO was the man she once loved. The Vantage Tower does not care about you. It never did. 42 floors of cold glass and brushed titanium rising out of downtown Chicago like a monument to everyone who made it and everyone who almost did. Nyla Osei stands on the sidewalk below it, gripping the strap of her worn canvas tote with both hands like it is the only thing keeping her grounded. She is wearing a sage green cord set she thrifted from a vintage market in Wicker Park, white fitted blazer thrown over it, and fresh white chunky sneakers she scrubbed clean the night before with an old dish rag. Her box braids are pinned up into a high bun with 2 copper clips her grandmother gave her. She has applied to 61 jobs in 5 months. This is the last interview she has the emotional bandwidth for. Inside, the lobby smells like money and filtered air. The security guard waves her through without making eye contact. The receptionist slides her a visitor badge like it is a burden. 31st floor, she says flatly. The elevator is all polished bronze. Nyla watches her reflection multiply across the walls as she rides up, all of them looking equally terrified and equally determined. The doors open. The sign on the wall reads, C-Suite Executive Division. Not the 31st floor. Not creative partnerships. Somewhere else entirely. She steps out anyway because the elevator has already swallowed itself shut behind her. Her phone shows 0 bars. She exhales through her nose and turns around to find the stairwell. That is when she sees him. He is at the far end of the corridor, standing in front of a floor-to-ceiling window with the Chicago skyline pressed flat behind him like a painting. He is wearing a dark navy suit with no tie, top button open, hands in his pockets. His posture is the kind that comes from years of being the most important person in the room and being tired of it. His face is angled slightly away from her, jaw sharp, expression closed off. And just above his left eyebrow, a faint curved scar. A scar she knows. Because 4 months ago, on a rain-soaked rooftop restaurant in Miami during a conference neither of them planned to attend alone, she had looked at that scar across a candlelit table and asked him where it came from. He had laughed low and said it was a stupid story. She had said she liked stupid stories. They talked until the staff started stacking chairs around them. He said his name was Eli. Said he was there for the weekend, nothing more. She had said, same. They had both been lying, but not about how it felt. He turns now. His eyes lock onto hers with a precision that feels unfair. The recognition moves across his face like a current. Then it disappears. Controlled. Practiced. Can I help you? He says. His voice is completely level. Professional. Like she is a vendor who wandered in from the wrong floor. Which, technically, she is. Nyla's chest pulls tight. I think I took the wrong elevator. I'm looking for 31. A pause. Small. Loaded. You're on 36, he says. Take the second bank on your left. Thanks. She walks. Does not look back. Turns the corner and presses herself against the wall and breathes. Her phone buzzes back to life. One new email. Subject line, urgent, interview update, Vantage Media Group. She opens it. Your original interviewer is unavailable. You have been reassigned. Your interview for the Creative Partnerships Director role will now be conducted by our Chief Executive Officer. She stares at the name at the bottom of the email. Elijah Kwame Asante. CEO, Vantage Media Group. She opens a tab. Types the name. The first image that loads is a profile shot from a business journal feature. Sharp jaw. Navy suit. A faint curved scar above his left brow. Eli. The conference room on the 36th floor is all glass on 3 sides. Chicago sits below like a gray, sprawling thing that never fully wakes up and never fully sleeps. Nyla is already seated when he walks in. She has straightened her blazer. Repinned the braid that slipped loose. Given herself a quiet, internal talk about the fact that she is a professional and this is a job and the rest of it is just noise. He walks in at exactly 2 o'clock. Same navy suit. He sets a single slim folder on the table, sits down at the head of it, and opens it without any preamble. Nyla Osei, he says. Reading, not greeting. 2.5 years at Crescent Digital. Spearheaded their Creator Fund initiative. Left 6 weeks before it launched. They rebranded the initiative and cut the creator revenue split in half after I built the pitch, she says. I don't take credit for things I don't believe in. He looks up for the first time. His expression does not shift much. But something in it does. Why Vantage? She has this answer ready. She rehearsed it in the elevator. But she has also been unemployed for 5 months and her landlord sent a third notice last week, and she is so tired of performing calm. Because you're the only media company in this city actually building something new instead of just packaging something old, she says. And honestly, I need this job. My savings ran out 2 weeks ago. I'd rather tell you that now than have you wonder later why I seemed like I was holding something back. The room goes quiet. The city below fills the silence. That was either very brave or very strategic, he says. Can't it be both? Something almost happens at the corner of his mouth. He closes it down fast. Walk me through your biggest failure. She does not hesitate. Miami. He goes very still. I met someone, she says. Her voice is steady because she has decided to be steady. I thought it was just a moment. I walked away from it without getting his last name or his number because I told myself that was the smart, uncomplicated choice. Turns out walking away from the right thing at the wrong time is its own kind of failure. The room is so quiet she can hear the ventilation hum. We're talking about a professional failure, he says. His voice is very careful now. Are we? He sets the folder down. Folds his hands on the table. Looks at her fully for the first time since he walked in. Nyla. Eli. The name lands between them like something fragile. I didn't know you were applying here, he says. I didn't know you were the CEO, she says. I didn't even know your last name. He exhales. Slow. The first crack in the composure. I don't mix personal and professional, he says. That's not a preference. It's a rule. I'm not asking you to, she says. I'm asking you to hire me because I'm the best candidate you'll see this week. Whatever happened in Miami stays in Miami. You have my word. He studies her for a long moment. The kind of look that costs something. I'll be in touch, he says. Stands. Picks up the folder. He is almost at the door when she speaks again, because she cannot help it. How's the scar? She asks. The stupid story. He pauses. Does not turn around. Still there, he says. Then he's gone. And Nyla sits in the glass room with Chicago gray and glittering below her, feeling like she just walked through a door she cannot close again. She gets the job. The offer email comes 2 days later, 11:47 at night, from Elijah Asante's personal work address. Not HR, him. The salary is more than she asked for. The title is exactly what she wanted. There is no note attached. Just the offer letter. Clean and professional and completely him. She accepts it before sunrise. 3 weeks in, Nyla has settled into the rhythm of Vantage the way you settle into a new apartment. You learn where the light falls wrong. You figure out which floorboards creak. You stop jumping at every sound. She is wearing a rust-colored turtleneck and wide-leg camel trousers today, natural hair down and loose, silver hoops, caramel suede boots that click against the hardwood floor of the open office. She has already closed 2 creator partnerships that had been stalled for months. Her team is small, but she is making it work. Elijah exists on the periphery of her days. They pass each other in hallways. They exchange emails that are precise and respectful and contain zero personal information. It is working. Kind of. Then one Thursday evening the office empties out and she is still at her desk restructuring a pitch deck when she hears footsteps stop near the door. "You should go home," he says from the doorway. She does not look up. "Almost done." "You said that an hour ago." "I was still on my floor." She looks up then. He is in a charcoal crewneck and dark jeans now, the suit jacket gone, sleeves pushed up. He looks less like a CEO and more like a person, which is somehow more dangerous. "You were watching the floor tracker," she says. "The building sends auto reports when employees are here after 8, he says. "It's a security protocol." "Sure," she says. He steps inside the room. Looks at the deck on her screen. Does not say anything for a moment. "The Volta pitch," he says. "I tried to close that in January." They walked. "They walked because the creative brief felt corporate," she says. "I restructured it around the founder's actual story. It hits different now." He pulls out the chair across from her and sits. Just like that. Like it is normal. "Show me," he says. She shows him. They go back and forth on the framing for 40 minutes. He is sharp and he pushes back in ways that actually make the pitch better. She pushes back on his pushback. He does not seem bothered by it. He seems the opposite of bothered. At some point the conversation stops being about the pitch. "You left Miami without saying anything," he says. Not accusing. Just saying. "You were asleep," she says. "On the couch. I didn't want to wake you. You could have left your number. You didn't ask for it." "I didn't think I'd have to," he says quietly. She closes the laptop. Looks at him straight on. "Eli. What are we doing right now?" He holds her gaze. "I don't know yet." That's not a great answer from a CEO. "I'm not talking to you as a CEO right now." The air between them shifts into something neither of them has named yet. Her phone lights up on the desk. She glances at it out of habit. The name on the screen stops her cold. Devin Asante. She looks at the name. Then at him. "Who's Devin Asante?" she asks. Something moves across his face. Fast. Then it is gone. "My wife," he says. The word hits the room like a dropped glass. "Ex-wife," he adds. But he says it a half-second too late. Nyla stands up. Picks up her bag. Her face is calm because she has trained it to be calm in moments that are not calm at all. "Good night, Elijah," she says. She walks out. In the elevator, alone, she lets herself feel the full weight of the word wife. And she wonders what exactly he meant by ex. The truth about Devin Asante arrives not from Elijah but from the company gossip chain, which in a media company is faster and more accurate than most news wires. Devin is not an ex. Not yet. The divorce was filed 8 months ago but never finalized. Elijah had cited irreconcilable differences and Devin had cited abandonment. The case was quietly sitting in a family court in Cook County. Nyla finds this out on a Tuesday from a colleague who mentions it casually over coffee like it is common knowledge. Because apparently, at Vantage, it is. Everyone knew. Everyone except Nyla, who was new, who was hired by the man at the center of it, who had a history with him that no one else knew about. She sits with it for 2 days before she does anything. On Thursday she wears all black. Black fitted long sleeve, black straight-leg trousers, black Chelsea boots. Hair pulled back severe. Gold stud earrings only. She looks like someone who has made a decision. She goes to his office. His assistant, to her credit, takes one look at Nyla's face and waves her straight in. He is standing at the window when she enters. Still in a suit, this one deep gray, and he turns when he hears the door. He knows. She can see it in the way his posture shifts. "How long were you going to let me find out from someone else?" she says. "I was going to tell you." "When?" He does not answer. "Elijah." Her voice breaks slightly on the second syllable. She tightens it back up. "In Miami you told me you were not complicated. You said that. Word for word. Not complicated." "I wasn't lying at the time. A divorce that's been sitting unfinished for 8 months is the definition of complicated." He exhales. Turns fully toward her. "Devin and I have been done for 2 years," he says. "The paperwork got held up because she contested the asset division. I didn't bring it up because it felt like it had nothing to do with what was happening between us." "And what was happening between us?" He looks at her like the question costs him something. "Something I didn't plan on," he says. "I need this job," she says, and her voice is very quiet now. "I built my savings back from zero. I have my family depending on my stability. I cannot be a story about the new hire and the not quite divorced CEO. I cannot be that." "I know. So you have to choose what this is. Right now. Not later. Not when the paperwork clears. Now." The silence stretches. And then his phone lights up on the desk. She sees the screen from where she stands. "Devin Asante, I'm outside. We need to talk. Tonight." Nyla sees it. He sees her see it. Neither of them speaks. She picks up her portfolio from the chair where she set it. Her hands are steady. She is very proud of her hands right now. "I'll have my resignation letter to HR by end of day," she says. "Nyla. Don't. If you want to stop me," she says at the door, "you have until 5 o'clock." She walks out. She goes back to her desk. Opens a new document. Stares at it. 4:57. 4:58. The cursor blinks. 4:59. A knock on her open office door. She looks up. It is not Elijah. It is Devin Asante. Tall, silk blouse, the composed look of a woman who has walked into difficult rooms her entire life. "You're Nyla," she says. Not a question. Nyla sets her hands flat on the desk. "Yes." Devin looks at her for a long moment. Then she says something Nyla does not expect at all. "He signed the papers an hour ago," she says. "I just came to bring him the copies. I thought you should know, since this seems to be about you." She sets a manila envelope on the edge of Nyla's desk. Then she leaves. Nyla stares at the envelope. 5 o'clock comes and goes. She does not send the resignation letter. 2 weeks pass and neither of them says anything that matters. They exist in the same building again, orbiting each other at a careful distance. Professional. Measured. The Volta pitch closes successfully and her team celebrates with cheap champagne in the conference room, and Elijah sends a company-wide email that mentions her by name. That is the closest they get. She tells herself this is fine. She tells herself she made the right call by staying. That the job is enough. That what happened in Miami was a nice memory she can fold up and tuck somewhere it won't take up space. She is a terrible liar, even to herself. On a Friday evening that smells like oncoming rain, she is in the lobby waiting for her rideshare, standing near the glass front wall in a deep burgundy oversized blazer over a white fitted tee, light wash wide-leg jeans, and brown leather loafers. Her braids are fully down tonight. She is tired in the good way. The way that means she worked hard and it mattered. She hears his footsteps before she sees him. He stops a few feet away. Coat on. No folder tonight. No armor. I told myself I wouldn't do this in the building, he says. Do what? This. He gestures between them, which is not a real answer but somehow is. She turns to face him fully. The lobby is nearly empty. The city outside is the blue-gray of early evening. Eli. I know the timing is terrible, he says. I know you have 100 good reasons to keep this clean. I know I complicated things before I even meant to. You did. I know. And you just signed a divorce settlement 2 weeks ago. I know that too. She looks at him for a long moment. At the scar she traced with her fingertip in Miami. At the person underneath all the control and the composure who sat across from her in a conference room and genuinely listened and genuinely pushed back and genuinely showed up. What do you actually want? She asks. Not the smart answer. The real one. He does not hesitate this time. You, he says. Without the building between us. Without the titles. I want to know your last name and your coffee order and what you sound like when you're actually not okay. I want the rest of the stupid story. The rideshare notification pings on her phone. Her car is 2 minutes away. She looks at the phone. Looks at him. I take oat milk, she says. And I am, actually, not okay approximately 40% of the time. And my favorite story about myself is so embarrassing I have only ever told it to strangers. Something in his face opens up. Slowly. Like a window that has been stuck for a long time. I'm not a stranger anymore, he says. No, she says. You're not. The car pulls up outside. She looks at it. Then she looks back at him and makes a decision that has nothing to do with safety or strategy or smart choices. It is the kind of decision that is just true. Walk me out, she says. He does. They stand on the sidewalk under the gray Chicago sky with the first drops of rain beginning to fall, neither of them reaching for an umbrella, neither of them moving toward the car yet, just standing there at the beginning of something that has technically been going on for 4 months and also feels completely new. For the record, she says, I was not going to send that resignation letter. I know, he says. I checked the HR system at 5:01. She laughs. It comes out surprised and real and full, the kind of laugh that only happens when the weight lifts. He smiles. Actually smiles. And she realizes it is the first time she has seen it without anything behind it. No control, no calculation. Just him. The rain picks up. Neither of them moves. She spent 5 months applying to 61 jobs. She got on the wrong elevator. She ended up on the wrong floor. She found the right person in the worst possible timing in the most inconvenient possible place. And somehow, standing in the rain outside a building that does not care about either of them, it is the first time in a long time that she feels like she is exactly where she is supposed to be. The end.